Hello. As I said, well, I said this in the other video also, but I had a dentist appointment, which is why I'm recording this offline because my mouth hurts and so on and so on. Um, so Kellyanne Conway and Claudia Conway, there is so much information out there. There are so many tragic TikTok videos. There are so many pieces of corroborating evidence. There's so much to go into that, frankly, you know, I'll give you the basics. Kellyanne Conway was counsel to President Trump. She has 3.3 million followers on Twitter. She is known. She's been on news, blah, blah, big figure. And Claudia Conway has been known for some time. She's a TikTok Zoomer teen. She's 16, I think, and has been known for some time for being subversive on TikTok with regards to her mother's wishes. This began, at least I became aware of it, when Claudia Conway very publicly impugned her mother for spreading COVID around and being irresponsible and openly lying about COVID tests that she had taken, lying, saying that she was negative when it had been positive, or lying about when she had taken the test. I forget the exact details. After that Rose Garden incident, where like the super spreader incident, where a bunch of people in the administration got COVID. And Claudia got COVID because of her mother. Claudia was upset. Claudia talked about it on TikTok. And of course, Kellyanne Conway wasn't happy about this because, generally speaking, when you're a public figure, having your well-known child shit talk you on social media at length and accuse you of being a bad parent, it's not great for the PR. But for what it's worth, during that entire incident with COVID, Claudia Conway, at least to my mind, came off as levying some pretty fair criticisms. I didn't really get the feeling that it was like just child-parent beef. It looked like Kellyanne was kind of a giant piece of shit. And now we have this. So here are the details. Claudia hasn't stopped being critical of her mother, and more information has come out from TikTok, live streams, and videos, which paint a pretty chilling picture of the house situation they have going on there. If you want, you can attempt to find these videos. Many of them have been taken down. They were initially posted on Claudia's TikTok, but then she'll delete them, and then another one, then she'll delete them. And I'm not going to lie, there's some really compelling stuff there, some very informative stuff, but if she takes them down, I'm not going to go digging. I don't know, it seems disrespectful. If you really want, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But these videos included, and there was corroboration from other people as well, people who were near enough to Claudia or near enough to the Conway family, that Kellyanne was verbally and physically abusive with her daughter, that Kellyanne would I think there was even a video where Kellyanne strikes Claudia while Claudia's live streaming, which is incredibly, it's really brave of Kellyanne, man, doing that on live stream. So you've got that, and then there's just heaps and heaps and heaps of emotional abuse that Claudia's talked about at length. And I've talked about this a little bit on stream before, and this goes into a broader topic of abuse. And I just want to say, I was very lucky. I have very wonderful parents, loving, kind. They take interest in my interests. Great. Not everyone has those parents. And when I talk about abuse here, I want to make this clear. I think that even good parents and good like relationships with other people, like significant others or friends, I think people fuck up sometimes, I think even good parents every once in a while will like slip up and they'll do something like shitty, not like beat their kid, but like they'll say something that like undermines the kid's self-esteem. I think that like their parents are only human after all, and humans are fucking stupid. But I want to make it clear, I'm not talking about that, okay? The abuse that Claudia has suffered just in the slivers of her life that we get to see in the TikTok videos and in the live streams is significant enough on its own. One only can imagine how bad it gets behind the scenes. It is my opinion that with the evidence presented, Child Protective Services would have been all over this were it not for the fact that the mother is Kellyanne Conway. Oh, and George Conway, the father, he's the Lincoln Project guy. Yeah, we have two very prominent parents. And I imagine prominent enough that they could cause trouble for CPS if CPS ever looked into their, into their shit. Anyway, this came to a head yesterday. So we know Kellyanne's abusive. Great. And at some point yesterday, according to reports, Kellyanne Conway posted to her 3.3 million Twitter followers a naked photo of her underage daughter. Now, thankfully, this was in the fleets, which nobody looks at, which probably minimized the impact somewhat. But that's a very narrow, minor, and insignificant, thankfully. I can't think of another instance of a unit of child pornography being shared to such a large audience. Now, of course, it was immediately taken down afterwards. It's not like still up, and good, but it's really difficult to know whether it was an accident, because apparently, and this came out from Claudia, apparently Kellyanne Conway has had a habit of occasionally snatching away her daughter's phone and taking pictures of the pictures of herself on that phone. So, like, Kellyanne found the nude of her daughter on her daughter's phone. When I was 16, I was taking nude pictures of myself. Okay. And Kellyanne took a picture of that. Now, I want to know, just let's unpeel this onion. What in the fuck is a mother doing taking pictures of her daughter's nudes? There's only one reason you would do that, and it's for blackmail. That's the only I can't think of another unless Kellyanne is attracted to her daughter, which I think probably the less likely incidents here. I think that this is an attempted blackmail of some kind. Like, I have this leverage on you, which a unbelievably fucking psychotic thing to do with your underage daughter or overage, but Jesus Christ, it's actually really difficult. I don't want to like soy face overact how disgusting it is, but it's actually fucking unbelievable. And this is only the shit we get through social media too. We don't even know Claudia's home life, not really. It got taken down. Obviously, people are looking into it. What was it, an accident? Did somebody take Kellyanne's phone and post it? I've seen some people say Claudia took Kellyanne's phone and posted it, though I am absolutely, I cannot fathom why the fuck Claudia would want to do that, unless this is some 80-70 chess game of getting her mom arrested or something, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think that, I'm speaking off the cuff. I feel like Kellyanne's just kind of like an unbelievably massive piece of shit subhuman cunt, and she just does terrible things because that's just what that sort of person does. I'm just guessing she worked with the Trump administration. How Trump friend of Epstein. I mean, we're not round peg round hole. How many degrees of separation are we? It's not that unlikely. And unfortunately, following this incident, we got this really kind of tragic series. I don't know if it was videos or live streams, but it seems like cops arrived at the Conway house, and the cop just consistently sided with Kellyanne, even as Claudia, like through tears, tried to explain how, like, my mom fucking posted my nude picture to her Twitter account, and the cop didn't seem to do anything. And through the entire thing, and I know I'm underselling this a bit, but I want to make it clear, George Conway, Lincoln Project dipshit, did nothing. It consistently downplayed the shit Kellyanne did, consistently downplayed it to the cop, downplayed it to Conway, Claudia Conway, just completely absent from the situation. The family dynamics here are so unbelievably fucked up. I feel like I'm trying to like summarize this basically, but I feel like I can't put myself in the head of anybody there, except for Claudia Conway, who throughout all of this has come off as more of an adult than either of her parents, which victims of abuse tend to do because they have to grow up a little bit faster than people who aren't being abused. Anyway, the most recent information that we have is this from Claudia Conway's TikTok, and it's a little bit. I mean, here, just it's 4 videos.
Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here and address the situation. This isn't forced, this is coming completely from me, Claudia. I have faith and I know that my mother would never put something like that on the internet, as well as me. We would never do that. My mom and I, we fight like mothers and daughters, but we also love like mothers and daughters, and I do love her. I will be taking a break from social media because we are really tired of being headlines, and we fight like mothers and daughters, but being in the public eye exacerbates that greatly, and it adds a lot of stress to both of our lives, and I don't want that. I don't want any drama. I don't want any hate. So I will be leaving social media for a bit to work on my relationship with my mom and my family. Please do not incite hate or violence on my family. Please. No threats, no calls to authorities. I love my mom and she loves me. Hi guys, I just wanted to come on.
So you can see the comments if you scroll through them. Girl, you made a statement when you were releasing the videos that you would never leave willingly. Like, leave social media. Did she force you to post this? This doesn't sit right with me. I'm sorry you don't fight like mothers and daughters. She's abusive. Yeah, so, again, this is a really difficult situation to comment on. So, I don't know. Take into account my distance from all of this, but this really seems like Claudia Conway is being forced to try to minimize the public blowback from these incidents as much as possible, probably by her mom. Her mother and father are both very powerful people. This isn't a situation where you can just go to the cops. People who are wealthy and well-connected enough usually have the means to avoid facing the consequences of their actions, at least on this level. At least for a time. They can delay, or if not completely avoid it. And all of Claudia Conway's previous videos, all of the previous live streams, none of them carried this tone. We fight like mothers and daughters. I mean, she was like crying while her mother was hitting her. Like, yeah. So, in all likelihood, Claudia, who is, again, underage and thus dependent on her parents, unless she gets, what's that term? Not excommunicated. Fuck. Come on. I did this on stream recently. I forgot this term. You know, when the kid leaves the parents, when they get legally emancipated, right? Yeah. Let's go with that. If it's not that, then you know what I mean. And it basically seems that she's been forced up against a wall in this regard, which is deeply unfortunate. Now, I don't know if there's like anything that we can do. This isn't exactly a call to action, but I think it's important that we recognize a couple of things here. The first of which being that the abuse of children is a very serious problem, and while it remains the case that most instances of child abuse are not being perpetuated by people with the money and power necessary to avoid consequences from the police, this shit is unfortunately really common, which I know chat would be agreeing with me if they were right next to me on. So we should be keeping an eye out for that in any possible instance. Additionally, like, massive fucking solidarity to Claudia Conway in so many ways. For like, we can list them off. First of all, for being public with the abuse that she experiences, which is difficult in a number of ways. Second of all, for being an eye of transparency into the window of her mother's psychotic abuse. Because let me tell you, if every prominent politician, media pundit, whatever, had kids who were like scrutinizing, you know, like, I think we'd get a lot of really juicy shit out of that. Oh God. Can you imagine if like Eric Trump and Trump Jr. weren't like bootlicking sycophants of their father, but they were actually like kind of resentful, you know, like kids? Yeah, I feel like you'd get a lot of stuff out of that. And we should, by the way. In an era of unprecedented transparency with everyone having access to social media, or almost everyone, it is a good thing to be informed that people like Kellyanne Conway are degenerate subhuman filth. You know, that's a good thing. I'm glad we have that option open to us. And additionally, for Claudia to do all this while Claudia is underage and therefore like dependent in a number of ways, I hope, this is my hope, okay? I really hope that Claudia can get emancipated, find a friend. I'm sure if Claudia put up a fucking GoFundMe or something, I don't know if the rules for GoFundMe would even allow that, but some way of putting up, get your own apartment, something, get emancipated, find a friend, or uncle, aunt you trust, whatever. I hope something like that can happen because, man, some of the videos that were deleted, they're not here because they were deleted, but whew. Yeah, it really just fucking sucks. By the way, I only watched this video. There are 3 more here. They're basically saying about the same thing. Don't go after me. Don't go after my mother. Nothing really bad is happening here. I'm going to take a break, so on and so forth. It all feels very forced. I don't blame her, by the way. Like I said, she's been put up against a wall, you know. It's deeply unfortunate. So, yeah. There is some truth to that, too. I mean, when you, unfortunately, it really sucks, but when you go after abusers, you often sort of cause negative consequences to be experienced by the victims of that abuse. You've probably had that experience at some point in your life, right? Where you had like a high school friend who had an abusive partner or abusive parents, and you want to give them advice or like push back against it. But if you stand up to like your friend's abusive parents, that doesn't make life any better. It makes you feel better. It doesn't really make life feel any better for your friend, though. It's kind of a feel-good thing. Sometimes it can be actively detrimental. In fact, it often is. I don't know what the right thing to do is here, but I hope that Claudia is able to find the best possible path forward. Jesus.